Should I hit you up with a hey cutie, hey cutie?
Hey guys, this is Chauncey from Good Music to Know, and today we are joined with the very talented rapper T Omega to discuss his latest album, Sunshine Baby Volume 1. So excited to have you on the show. Thank you so much for joining.
No, honestly, thank you for reaching out. Thank you for this. Yeah, it was a big surprise seeing the message and everything. So I'm happy to be here, you know?
Yeah, of course. So jumping into your newest album, what I realized is that Sunshine Baby Volume 1, it has a very distinctive energy and flow. What was the driving inspiration or concept behind this album?
One of the main sort of thoughts I had for it going was when I was doing a lot of performances. I don't know whether it's a London thing or what it was, but I just wasn't seeing people moving the way I wanted to make a move, you know? So I thought, if I want people to move, I need to make some music that I just find infectious, that I just can't, I have to move to. And hopefully that will translate to a lot of people. So I was listening to a lot of K-Tronada at the time. So yeah, almost like, especially, someone 100% I'll say was a big influence on the sound of the album, of like some of the things, listening to his discography, I would hear all these different sounds that he's meshed together. And I find it infectious. I just find it so rhythmic and all of that. The different artists he works with, there's so many different sounds. But yeah, I really just wanted to connect to people and try and get them moving, try and get them to enjoy the show as much as possible.
Well, I definitely think you accomplished that. This is definitely a groove track. Like, I was up and dancing from the very first track. So you definitely accomplished that. One thing I was going to ask you was, how do you think this project maybe compares to some of your earlier work? So I was also listening to Sundays on Saturn. Do you think this album marks maybe like a new direction for you as an artist?
This last EP, the Sunshine Baby one, Volume 1, I love to make music of all different sorts of sounds. I wanted that to almost be like when I'm doing the Sunshine Baby again, it's like, okay, cool, I know exactly what the sound's going to be. I know exactly what the vibe's going to be. And if it's a vibe that you are into, it's going to be 100% for you, you know? But I'm also hoping for some people who aren't exactly into that vibe, there'll be something there they can relate to. And so it's definitely something I'm going to be doing again more and more. But I'm working on a counter project to Sunshine Baby. It's called Mr. Moonlight, something I've got in the works going forward, which shows the sort of literally like the counter to it. The Sunshine Baby, Mr. Moonlight, it's this sort of juxtaposition of people, of my sounds, you know? Yeah.
Very cool. Is there a favorite track on the album? And maybe you can speak to what meaning it has to you?
Oh, that's a tricky one, That's a tricky one. The first one that came to mind was Dopamine Fiend. The reason I'll say Dopamine Fiend is because it took, I don't know how many demos I had of this song until I was satisfied with it. But the moment I remember the feeling, it's double digits. So maybe I can't remember how many. And the feeling that I got when that's almost complete was amazing.
Very nice. I was wondering, like, how do you balance, storytelling and the melodies and productions? How do you balance all of these things for a project like this?
Luckily, production side, I'm really lucky to know a lot of producers who make a lot of amazing instrumentals. Production-wise, this is actually the first EP that I recorded by myself, that I mixed by myself, that I got mastered, everything like that. I used to work with a partner of mine, but we no longer work together, as things go. Yeah. And it was a little bit daunting at the time because I hadn't done much of it, I had done bits here and there, but I just used the time, lock in, learn how it's all done, learn all these different techniques and things like that. So yeah, it's become, like I was saying with Dopamine Fiend, it's like a challenge, but it's like a rewarding challenge with the production. It can push me all these different ways, but when it's finally done, it's beautiful. Storytelling wise, I find with my writing style a lot of the time, the way that the lyrics come to me, the title name for it, and that's all I had in my head.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, cool. Where am I gonna go with this? And then it was sort of like a domino effect of just like and I thought, okay, yeah, we've got something. Go do it once, go back, do it again, back and forth till it's ready. And there was the third one. What was it? Production, songwriting, and what was the other one? Sorry.
Production. What did I say? It's a production, just like production, storytelling, the melody. Yeah. Yeah,
melodies. Melodies. It's funny. That used to be one of the most difficult things for me when I first started writing music, because I used to write really sort of structured raps. 4 bars, 16, and then finding now I feel I write with different sort of rhyme schemes and just much less structured than when I used to write before. And then that just allows for so many more pockets you can just sort of squeeze into something instead of trying to make it rigid and fit into it. Now I can sort of just, how about if I said it this way, or if I made this part longer and that part shorter?
Yeah, gives you more room for flexibility and to improv, I suppose.
Exactly, yeah.
Would you say that the tracks on this album reflect more life experiences, or is it just from broader inspirations?
Most of it is life experience. Most of it. I remember with Icy Blue, I was away at the time. I'd been on. I was in Gran Canaria for a couple of days, and I had the instrumental for it, and I was like, I really, really, really want to write something to the beat because I am obsessed with it.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, I need to write something. Let me just look around and just write what you see. Let's see how that goes. And then try and match it to the melody. So I looked around. I was like, cool, palm trees, blue. Yeah, okay, now we've got something. I took it back home with me and finished it off over a couple of weeks. And that was, that one now. Yeah, a lot of it, I try and keep it as authentic as possible. Sometimes there may be something may not rhyme exactly, so I might have to use an alternative, but majority of it is as authentic as I can keep it.
Yeah. Was the process quite smooth when you were recording the album? Did you run into any hiccups or any of the tracks, or did any tracks almost not make it onto this album?
That's a good one, actually. Yes, any tracks that almost didn't make it. Trying to think through them now. So the last two that were singles already, I was 50-50 on whether to put them on this EP because they were singles from throughout years that I just made songs. But I was 50-50 to put them on, but I thought like they're both such solid songs. They could go on an EP. They need a home almost, I remember doing Oxy a couple of times, and there is a part where the piano keys sort of come in and everything sort of slows down a little bit. And there's this one note that I just couldn't really get right. It was either too high, too low, too quick, too punchy, too something. I just had done it so many times, and I thought to myself, I had the whole song done, or more or less done, but that one section there, I thought, listen, if it's not ready. Also, there is actually a song that's supposed to be on this album but didn't make it. It was called Silhouette. I'll say that now. So eventually, it will be out, maybe volume 2. Yeah. So when you see it, just know it was here first. You got the exclusive for that.
Very nice. And then I know you mentioned Kaytranada, but any other dream collabs for you? Like, what would be an absolute dream collab for you?
For sure, Tinashe is a big favorite artist of mine. Yeah. She's just for any sort of style I think I wanted to do with Tinashe. She'd do it in her sleep, Tyler the Creator, Kendrick Lamar. Or I would love to do something with some of the whole of TDE, really, Dolce, SZA as well. They both be really cool, especially SZA. I'd love to do a song with SZA. That'd be amazing. Playboy Carti as well. I know that's a left field one, but I'd love to do a song with Playboy Carti. I absolutely love to do a song with Carti and just Yeah. I have a list as long as my arm, to be fair. Yeah. Childish Gambino as well. He'd be a great one.
When I first heard Childish Gambino when he came out like a long time ago, I loved his flow because his cadence was so different and so unique. And you would hear his raps at first, like, does this make sense? And then he would get to what he was actually saying. And you're like, I got it. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. That's one thing. Whenever I see a Childish Gambino song and he's rapping, I'm excited because I love him when he's singing, but I do love some rapping Gambino as well.
Yeah. When did you know that rap was something that you wanted to seriously pursue? Like, was there a turning point for you when you're like, this is what I want to do?
Yes. Yeah. I thought about this recently, and not recently, but it's a thought that pops in my mind every now and again. But I can't remember when it was exactly, maybe 2017 or 18 or maybe just before that. I went to go see Vince Staples. I think this one was Big Fish Theory. I remember for the first 20-30 minutes, it was just an orange screen and it was just his silhouette in front of this orange screen. And before, I didn't even know it was him, but everybody because you couldn't see him at all. Everybody was just going crazy for him. And I thought to myself, this guy came from, he's from Long Beach? Is he from Long Beach? I'm trying to remember. He's come all the way from LA. We've not even seen his face. And everybody's just like, we all know every single line to this song. Everybody's so passionate. So, he's going all the way around the globe. I say around the globe. He's going around like Europe and America, traveling and performing his music and connecting with these fans and connecting with all these people. And for a split second, I sort of just step back and look at it and I thought, like if I can get my music to this level, that is exactly where I would love to be, on a stage in a silhouette, just performing my music while people are enjoying it and having a good time.
Yeah, I think that's the best part, because it no longer becomes about the person. It really is just about the lyricism and their craft and their work. So yeah, I love it when they have concerts where it's a bit, and I was going to say, yeah, well, it is a bit anonymous. Like you can't really see what's happening. So you just have to immerse
Exactly.
yourself
Yeah.
in what they're saying.
Exactly. Yeah.
He actually, for Dark Times, when we saw him again, it was actually quite, like towards the end when he played like his biggest hits, the lights came up, but for the most part you couldn't really see him that well. You just had to kind of vibe with him. It's a nice experience.
It was a different one, because like I've been going to a lot of shows at the time, and usually, you know, it's big bright lights on the artists, and you know, from the get-go. But this one was just, if you're there because you're a fan of this, you know. Even maybe not like you're there just because you're a big fan or whatever, but the music is what's connecting you. It's not necessarily him jumping around and doing anything. It's like, this is the thing that's,
yeah, very cool. And then I suppose if there was one thing that you would want listeners to take away from your new album, what would it be? Is there a certain like maybe feeling or
so what would be the main takeoff of that? Like, life is short, so when you can, enjoy it. Summer will be here, summer will go, but summer will come back also. So as like a larger metaphor, you know, sometimes things are great, sometimes things aren't too good. So I'm thinking of this what's his name, Gattuso. There's an Italian football meme. But sometimes things pick up and sometimes things aren't too great, but they always
I remember, I know what you're talking about. He said sometimes things are good, sometimes things are
Yeah. I was like, I don't know if I'm you know, keep it PG.
Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah. But you know, so when the sun's out, enjoy it. When things are good, enjoy it, bask in it. When life is good, try your best to enjoy the good things in life, because sometimes it's not always great. And when it's not great, we look to good times to either think back on and make us feel better, or we look at good times as something to look towards, to be optimistic about. So yeah, when you're in the sunshine, just enjoy it, because especially, I'm sure as you know, in Berlin, in London, the sun doesn't last. It's here today, gone tomorrow.
Ireland for 5 years before in Dublin for 5 years. I know.
You know, more than me. Dublin, they get even less.
Rain all day, every day.
Rain and grey. Yeah, so.
Yeah, exactly. When can we maybe expect a volume 2?
If I can keep myself on track, I want to try and do one every summer. That's the aim. If everything is good and something like that, then possibly every summer, maybe every other summer, you know, depending on life sort of situations. But my goal would be to have one every single summer. One project at the moment, the Mr. Moonlight project, nearly finished, should be ready to go around January, February. And then I've got a few other songs that need tweaks. And then after that, Sunshine Baby Volume 2.
Wait, sorry. So the Mr. Moonlight, you said that will be an EP?
So that'll be another project. But another EP. But that will be a much different sound. That's the sort of contrasting sound I was sort of mentioning earlier. So that'll be. I'm in the final stages of that at the moment, and once that's done, I have a few songs at the moment that could go on Sunshine Baby Volume 2. But I always find when the sun starts to pick up, or the sun that we're gonna get here starts to pick up, something will take something will inspire me. That will make onto the EP.
Very nice. And then I suppose, just to wrap it up, do you have any final words that you want to leave your listeners or the viewers with?
To you as well, thank you so much for listening. Honestly, like, I make these songs, like I said, I've been making Sunshine Baby at home by myself, really, you know, and for people to be taking it in around the world, around in England and wherever, you know, I really, really, truly appreciate it. Genuinely. I feel like I'm just about getting started. I feel like I'm just things are just cooking at this moment, you know? So just stick with me. I've got plenty more. And just thank you. Stick with me because it's gonna be lit.
Running through my mind all day. With a hey cutie, alluring, she's gorgeous.